Welcome back, everybody, to the Grand Shamrock Tour. My name is John.
And I'm Caroline.
And we did get a break in the weather. And we got 1,000 miles on those bikes, so
I did my research.
I'm going to get behind the camera, and Carolyn's going to talk to you about those new G310 GSs.
Sounds good. Well, I will say, we did our research before we bought these bikes. We did know we wanted to go to smaller displacement bikes. We got the 2023 BMW G310 GS. This is a rally version. It's got the regular street tires on it. But we already done that. But I wrote some of my cards out so I wouldn't miss anything. But these are just the highlights for us. It does have 313 cc's, 34 horsepower. It's got 3-gallon fuel tank. I'm getting about 71 miles per gallon. So that's about, just over 200 miles per tank, which is great. It takes unleaded fuel, doesn't take premium. So that's actually one of the things we do like about it, is that it is a little bit cheaper to operate. It does have electronic fuel injection and ride-by-wire throttle. Okay, besides having chain drive, it's got inverted forks and has ABS. This particular year, you can't turn that ABS off. So far, we haven't noticed that. Now, John's and my bike, basically the same bike. Mine has been factory lowered from BMW. When they do that, they do chop the kickstand and to make it a little bit lower. So that is about the only difference on ours. Retail on these things, just over $6,000. But boy, there's a lot of fees in the US at least. And so we ended up coming just over $7,000 on these bikes. So that brings me to, we did get 1,000 miles on these bikes. And my first impression is it's just so much fun. And definitely they are lighter. So we will kind of talk about the positives and a few of the challenges that we have found. But I'm going to throw it over to John and let him talk about all of the things that we've added to these bikes.
Well, we have done a few things to the factory BMWs. They come pretty well ready to ride and do everything you need, but what we wanted to do is reach out to all of the different manufacturers that would support what we're doing with the bike. So SRC Moto was kind enough to set us up with crash guards. Now we buy them. Nothing. We're not sponsored in any way, but we do know good products, and we want to share that with you guys. So SRC Moto, we got crash guards, radiator guards, a bash plate. We were able to get the headlight guard, and they have a kickstand sensor guard, which is kind of important because if that thing breaks, then it's very difficult. The bike won't start. We have that. We did the factory USB ports. We have, Carolyn's got new mirrors on hers. We have hand guards that, not full bark busters, but enough to keep our hands dry and warm. We also did two different kinds. We've got both the SW Motec bags, tank bags, and they're fantastic. We have some Nelson Rig riding gear, the Hurricane bags. They're working really good for us, as well as, I think the one thing that we're looking forward to is talking to you a little bit about the Rox Risers, because when we did the Rox Risers, that made the biggest difference on the way the bike handled. We love all of the other equipment, the fit, the finish, everything was great, but the Rox Risers made the biggest difference for us in handling.
Okay.
Well, that brings us to the three things we like and dislike about these bikes. So Carolyn, what's the first thing you like?
Okay, I like that this is very similar to my 800. That BMW feel and the way you can stand, the handling, I like that.
And for me, I like that it feels like a full-size bike, but it's so playful. It's so light and nimble. I really like that.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Two?
Two is, I like that we can go down the freeway. I'm comfortable. Now it doesn't do 80 like, my 800 would, but at 60, 65, this thing, it handles great on the freeway.
Yeah.
I want to see how she feels, and it feels great. I'm tickled.
Oh, me too. You don't know, but
I'm just back here just smiling away.
We bought these bikes because they were smaller, lighter, and our goal is not to be out on the freeway, but I do like that I can ride it out on the freeway.
And that brings me to my second about that particular bike versus my 1250 is I can turn on a dime and give you 9 cents change. That thing is so small and nimble. I can literally spin around in a driveway. Nope, don't have to put my feet down, don't have to do anything. It's just, it's a baby GS. It's just great. What's your third reason?
Well, number 3, it really comes down to weight. I mean, this is so much lighter. You know, I've lost almost 200 pounds.
Well, I've lost over 200 pounds, which is an NFL running back, Carolyn.
Well, that's so helpful too. I can push this motorcycle around myself so much easier than that big motorcycle I had. And it loads into this toy hauler so much better.
It is a lot easier.
Yeah. What's your third?
Well, just look at them. I mean, they're gorgeous.
Aww.
I saw them on the showroom floor, and I'd never seen one in a magazine or anything like that. I just saw it, and I go, what is that? I had to know more. And upon exploration, we realized that this would be something that was going to be really advantageous to our experience, to what we're doing traveling around, and especially for the next season out in the dirt.
Oh, I can't wait.
No, that the back tire is surprisingly not bad. Okay. Nobody's coming by me. Yeah. Got it. Woo! Hey, dude. Oh my God.
But that does bring us to not everything's just, you know, as wonderful. There are a couple of challenges.
Not everything's rainbows and unicorns.
No, especially when you're riding motorcycles. There's always some challenge. My biggest challenge really was this kickstand. I think that center of gravity puts it over just a little farther so you feel a little tippy.
Yeah.
And I haven't liked that. That was not the case with my 800. It was lower.
Well, the gas tank was down here. Yeah, it was. Your center of gravity is different on this bike. Yeah.
Oddly.
Yeah. And for me, it was about that. It was the ergonomics. The bike fits really good with one exception, which we've already corrected. And that is the handlebar placement was too far back for me, and it was even too far back for you. And you're smaller.
Absolutely.
So the Rox Risers that we put on there, that completely changed the feel and the handling and everything about this bike for the better. It's really the #1 improvement, those Rox Risers in handling.
Yeah.
All right, so Carolyn, give it a feel. What do you think?
Oh my gosh. I step up here and it puts your arms up. It feels really good. And it gives me a little bit more leverage just in terms of handling the bike. And look at that, John. I'm able to pop that so much better. I've had troubles with that. So yeah, for sure.
So #2?
Well, #2 is I don't think that the fit and finish is as, you know, well, I had almost 45,000 miles on my 800.
Mm-hmm.
My tank had a couple scratches because I dropped it on a rock. But this paint may not be as, just not as fit and finish.
Yeah, it looks pretty. And I'm going to agree. My #2 would be the same. I do feel as though these are built in a different, basically country, to a different standard, and it isn't quite as good. Everything's just a little. Does it look great? Yeah. Does it look like a BMW? Absolutely. It's the same badge, but a little bit different build quality.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So far, we're putting them to the test.
Yep.
We made 1,000 miles, so that's good.
3. Do you have a third negative?
I I'm still searching.
I'm going to take that as a no. So Carolyn has only got 2 of her 3 negatives.
That's good.
I will say that the bike, as set up from the factory, works really good. But if you do what they envision it to do, to be that aspirational GS, you have to change the tires.
Yeah.
So we're going to wear these tires out or
agree.
get really close, and then we're going to switch to a much more aggressive knobby. What we've learned in that short period of time, this bike will do everything we want it to do.
Yeah, and we're not as challenged to just actually get out there on those roads because the bike, with the weight, we're not as concerned.
No, and I know that everybody that watches us is going to ask, well, it's only 300 cc. It is, doesn't have the power. And the advantage that we are going to have in our new version off-road is it doesn't have the power. Power is a double-edged sword. That the big bikes that we had, besides the weight, that power could get you in trouble. This is a very manageable power. Is it going to be enough? I know that I think the one thing, first gear can be a little bit of a challenge for us because it's really quick, and yet it doesn't get you off-road. I think we might need to change it a little bit. But if you guys at home have a G310 GS and you have some suggestions for us, we're really, really interested in hearing all of your suggestions. We love the bikes. My girl's name's Olive. This is?
Oh, we finally came up with a name, Nomad.
And
I think it fits.
Yeah, it does.
We're going out. We're going to be,
Well, you're a nomad.
I told.
Yeah, look at you got your.
Oh, I got my Nomad jacket on.
We're grateful you guys came along with us for the ride. We are so happy in the first 1,000 miles, enough that every couple of thousand miles now, we're going to revisit this review.
Yeah, why don't we come back and do a little follow-up review? We get new tires on it and let you know what it's like.
Yeah.
Out there on those back roads.
Out there on the road.
So, on that note, travel safe.
And we'll see you out on the road.
Thank you.